You are now watching another episode. Actually, no, you're not watching shit. You are now listening to another episode of Lifestyle After 5 Radio with host Ali Muhammad and Imred.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to another Wednesday. We're so happy to be here and thank you for tuning in to Lifestyle After 5. What set us apart from the other podcasts is, we're here to educate you. We're here to entertain you and enlighten you. This is like sitting down at a virtual happy hour. Picture yourself at, it could be anywhere from Applebee's to, I don't know. What's a good happy hour everybody go to? MD Red around the area, Papa Do's maybe.
Yeah, Papa
Sitting down at
Do's.
a Papa Do's bar, having a drink, having an adult conversation where we can tackle and talk about sensitive subjects that some people may find sensitive. But at the end of the day, after we have these grown folks discussion, we can leave on one accord, respecting each other, even if we have to agree to disagree. So again, thank you for tuning in. So today we're going to get right to it. I have a special guest with us tonight, this evening, Miss Asha Ma'at. She's going to talk to us about healing and spirit. Welcome to the show, Miss Asha.
East gang gang. What it do? What it do?
Hey, welcome.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. What's up, y'all? Peace.
Not much.
Nothing much. So right now, your expertise is needed. There's a lot of things going on a lot around the world, a lot of things going on even within the United States.
Yes, Lord.
Anything from violence to the financial markets seem to be in disarray. And there's a lot of people out there that are broken and having a lot of issues out there.
Yes, I agree with that. A lot of that has to do with, how people value themselves and how they see themselves through financial means, So their spirit is broken. So, of course, their finances are going to be broken.
Oh, so you're indicating that there's a connection between spirit and your finances.
I absolutely believe that it is now. Things change. It may not have been like that in the past, but things are changing. Energy is changing. I'm a real big person who is real big on energy. And so the energetic balance of the world is definitely changing. I think COVID was the beginning of that in my eyes, And so that's why you see so many entertainers or people with money who are broken inside and they're losing it. They're just losing it, And so that's because there's been an energetic shift.
Oh, definitely. Wow. Okay. I definitely feel that way also. There just definitely was something that happened between COVID and 2020. But can you explain a little bit more on this shift?
Well, and these are my opinions, alhamdulillah. Okay. So, but when, the energetic shift, when things have to be deconstructed before they're reconstructed. And so, when COVID happened, I'm a prophetess. So I even prophesied back then that this was the beginning of the shift, of the breakdown of America, of the world, period. Whenever there's so much darkness, and we were talking about the 7 hermetic principles before we got on here, and one of those principles is the principle of polarity, right? So what goes up, principle of rhythm, what swings, it swings side to side. So there's a balance in things. What goes up must come down, what goes down must come up. So there has to be a balance. It's been too much darkness in this world to where the light is coming in. Do you know what I'm saying? In order to balance. And so let me see if I'm answering this question, because I feel like I'm getting tongue tied.
You're doing great. Okay.
Ask me again. Ask me again.
So, what I had asked you was to explain the shift, a little bit about the shift that has taken place since 2020.
So that's it. Basically, like it's time. You know what I'm saying? So it's time for whatever was. It's just time for the wheel to rotate. Basically.
So do you think it's a wealth shift?
I definitely do.
I do
You're
too.
going to you're going to start seeing more people who are um of a higher vibration. I'll say you'll start seeing more people who have integrity, who won't do anything strange for pieces of change anymore. Do you know what I'm
Right.
saying? You'll
Yes,
start
ma'am.
seeing more of those people gaining wealth, and you'll
Right.
start seeing more of the people who dwell in the darker energies and the lower vibrational energies, the energies
Mhm.
of greed, arrogance, who will do anything. You'll start seeing them lose.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. No more strippers. That's correct.
No support, no love for the strip club. They're not
No,
gonna like this.
look, I
We,
don't
we're
look,
gonna
let me
lose
tell
most
you
of our
something.
following right now.
And you know, these are very sticky subjects, right? When we come, because I
Hmm.
don't judge nobody.
Yeah.
And all I do know is that what I see is when this light energy that is coming in, more people who are getting in tune with that God energy, they're
Hmm.
not wanting to show their bodies like that. They're
Right.
wanting
Right.
to
Right.
eat better. You know what I'm saying? They're wanting
Yes,
to
ma'am.
just show themselves, to show that they have more substance than just to show ass and titties. Like they're worth more than that. You understand? So
I
they're gonna
understand.
want to more do that for just their man. You know, I'm not saying don't be no stripper. Get a pole in the bedroom. You feel me? You know, but most of
Hey.
them are going to want to do that just for their man. They're not going to want to see a bunch of eyes on them, because one, like you are worth more than that. Like that's not all that you are deemed for, and a lot of that, you know, stems from slavery, us being on the block, and you know what I'm saying, and having to be shown like that, being judged like that. So I think
Right.
it comes from just a lot of women more of knowing their worth more, you know. And I want to say this too, you can't have one without the other. So there's never going to be darkness that's eradicated. So you're never gonna, there's always gonna be strippers, there's always gonna be those, there's always going to be the ones that want to fuck niggas get money. You know what I'm saying? There's just always, it's always going to want to be those. You know, I'm just saying it's becoming more of a balance. There's
Yeah.
going to be more, you're going to see more women who are going to want to respect their bodies, who are going to want to be less baddies, and more women of substance. Not saying that the baddies ain't women of substance, but you get me.
No.
I definitely agree. I was listening to Juicy J and J. Cole, these artists, and they were making the statement rather, that the rap is losing popularity. It's down like 40%. And they were
Yes.
calling upon the other rappers to step up and to try to come up with something. So, even though I hear it every day, I found that hard to believe. That I'm like, wow, rap is losing popularity.
Well, yeah, hell
Damn.
yeah. Have you heard that shit lately? Like it's
Yeah.
really just
I mean, yeah, you're right.
it
Some of the newest shit I
like
don't fuck with.
it is the rap on, and everybody is like TikTok songs, right? So on TikTok
Mhm.
they will release verses, right? Like snippets, and then it'll be trash. The rest of the song will be just
For no
trash.
more albums. I don't think people making albums, unless you're a major star. I don't think no one's
No,
making
you know,
albums
They make
anymore.
an LPs.
my playlist is very, like, you know, because I love rap music, like
Mhm.
like that's one of my, like, I'll rap and gospel, I go back and forth, right? And so
Mhm.
like Kevin Gates is one of my main ones, and not
Yeah,
his old
he's real.
music, but his newer music, right? But Kevin Gates, Rod Wave, this new artist that I listen to named Dax, he's very underrated.
Max is
You know
very
what?
good. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that we have more people that, like I said, who are coming up, who are now, because people, I feel like, are calling out for substance. We don't want to hear that shit no more. No bang bang shoot them up nigga. No, like nobody don't want to hear that shit. And then a
Right.
lot of people who know, because manifestation, the word manifestation is really getting big, right? And so you actually speak things into existence. That shit is real. You know what I'm saying? So when you constantly, I think it was Rod Wave Daddy who said, don't be saying that shit over and over again, because you're speaking that on your life. Yeah, you are.
Yeah. You
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 know what I'm
definitely got to
saying?
watch what you say.
Yeah. So I think that more people are just coming into, like I said, they're getting tired of that dark energy. It has a lot to do with why, our culture is just dwindling.
Yeah.
We got to do something.
Oh, country music is actually starting to rise among the black community. There's a lot of new black country artists that I had never heard of. Mickey Guyton,
Mm-hmm.
Brittany Spencer, Cleve
Mm-hmm.
Francis, Darius Ruckers. For a while, he was the only black country artist that I knew of for a long time. Jimmy Allen, Braylon, Charlie
People should have
Crockett,
been on
Hey,
Miko
country.
didn't
Marks.
Hey Michelle just get like an award or something?
Hey,
Hey,
Michelle,
Michelle.
she
She's
doing
in
country?
country now. Yeah.
Oh, home do a law.
Hey, gotta figure it out somewhere.
that,
What my thing
that's
is,
breaking
like,
news there.
people should have been on that type of music. Like black people we invented everything.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
Hey.
rightfully so. Like people need to get out their box. We don't just, and that's why I love Dax, because he be all over the
Yeah.
place. You
He
feel me?
is.
Yeah, he just y'all go listen to Be a Man featuring he just did a song with Darius
Or,
Rucker.
I think I saw that on your Facebook page, and I did
Yeah,
check that song out.
I'll be
That
supporting
is
the hell out of it.
that is a great song.
Yes,
I
it
actually
is.
did a spoof. Well, I wouldn't call it a spoof. I did a TikTok to that alcohol song where he was
Dear
challenging
Alcohol.
people to do a duet, a remix his duet with it, Dear Alcohol. So I actually did one to that. So yeah, I'm well familiar. Dax is a great artist out there.
Yes, man. I
Well,
found
while we
him
on
and I
music,
haven't been off him since, dog. Like
we
just
get off.
yeah, just crazy.
Everybody, while we on music before we get off, shout out our very own Lord Shoe he got an album coming out, and it's got great content. I've heard some
Oh,
of
Lord Shoe. Okay, I'm gonna have to go
it.
check you out
Well,
because
I
I
got
love
to plug
music,
my boy
brother.
while we on here.
Okay.
Yes. Shout
I
out to
love
Love. We're gonna have to
music.
have a listening partner. Yeah. We're gonna have to do something for Lord Shoe when his album drop. I've been
Yeah,
Hell
anticipating
yeah,
it.
I should be seeing that a lot.
definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna support you too. I love supporting people with music with substance. You know what I'm saying? I try to use my platform because God is growing it. And so the more that my platform grows, the more that I want to support people who are actually doing something beneficial.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Now, that was a couple of weeks ago was All Saints Day, where I had the Reverend Jesse on, and one of the questions I asked him was, if you are saved, spirit led, and filled with the Holy Ghost, shouldn't your income in life reflect that?
Let's talk about that. That's a good question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, it definitely should eventually, right? And I say that because of some of my trials and tribulations that I have going through and that I'm going through, because learning how to switch your mindset. We were talking about manifestation earlier, and mindset is huge when it comes to wealth. Do you understand? And when I said that there has been an energetic shift. A lot of us have been dwelling in a form of greed, in a form of pride, in a form of arrogance. You know what I'm saying? And so being able to look at that, and that's why I deal with childhood trauma and inner healing and shit like that, because all that has to be able to be released and transformed and transmuted. And then your abundance definitely comes in. I believe eventually, yeah, it does. It does. But there's a time, there's like a shift, a gestation period. When you have a baby, you plant a seed. The baby takes 9 months to grow before it is delivered. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you'll start seeing more of that. More, like I said, more high vibrational people with wealth. But I think a lot of us have to be put through the fire. I was burnt, and I always say that God put me through the fire, and it burnt me, and then it purified me. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us have to be purified, because when we get this wealth, we have to understand, like, yeah, we can't do just anything. And also, a lot of wealthy people now are very wasteful, just wasteful as hell. You know what I'm saying? They spend their money on shit that's unnecessary, when a lot of this wealth has to be used to be humanitarians, used to be put back really into the communities. Like, why you have $1 billion and just sitting on that shit is beyond me, and we still have mass homelessness. That makes no sense to me.
I got a lot of mixed feelings doing that. I mean, to me,
I'm
it
sure you do.
pays. to me, it just pays to be a winner. It's just the spoils of war. Win, you know.
What you mean?
And that sounds kind of that sounds kind of arrogant. And I know that sounds kind of arrogant, but you know, a lot of those people that got to the billions and to the millions, they didn't get there by sitting on their thumbs. I mean, that took a lot of energy. That took a lot of hard work.
Oh, I don't take nothing away from their work. I'm sorry.
So when you have laid the foundation, put all the time, the money, the energy, and did what it takes. You took risks that others didn't take to get there, and now you won. So, you know, it just pays to be a winner. Where versus, and I'm not saying everybody is poor, not taking risks, and it's a time thing, but obviously those people done something that we haven't done to get to that. Now, there are some that was born with the silver spoon in their mouth and they trust fund babies, but I think statistics say that that's not the great majority. You know, that's not the Steve Jobs of the world, or the Betzos or anything else. They actually worked out of the garages, or, you know, even if you want to throw somebody like the P. Diddy's, the Jay-Z's and all of them, they took chances, and whether I agree with some of the chances they took, but they took chances that turned them into opportunities. Whereas I think a lot of us get comfortable and we want to tithe and pray our way to success and wealth without putting in that work and that energy that comes with it.
Ooh,
now go ahead.
That's a sticky subject right there, bro.
It's killing me, bro.
Go ahead.
You know
what
I'm saying? Because I totally agree. Right. Mm-hmm. So, when I talk about, you know, manifesting and manifestation and, you know, creating your own reality, a lot of people think that means like you just say what you want. And I work hard as shit. I have a daily routine that I get up every morning. I make my bed. I work towards my dreams. There is a such thing as divine timing. We have to find a balance in things. You know what I'm saying? I think that those people like Bill Gates, and their focus is money. Their focus is wealth. And that's where the greed comes in. I'm not saying, hold on. I'm not saying that we shouldn't want things on a material level. I'm saying that those things, they come when we have the right mindset, when we want. Okay, so how can I say this? So I think the people, especially now with the energetic shift, I think that we have to think of other people outside of ourselves. You know, Spirit told me once I could identify with the collective, then I could make a change. Do you understand? But I have to be the change that I want to see. Do you know what I'm saying? I can't tell people that they can have anything that they want and not work for it. You know, that's dumb. Like that's illusions. That's fantasy. That's fallacy.
That's what 80% of the people have. But 80% of the population thinks like that.
And that's something
they think they can vote. They think they can vote their way into wealth. They think they can pray their way into wealth. They think they can tithe themselves into wealth, and they think that they can lottery win their way into wealth.
I agree.
And outside of that, those are the only channels that they feel that they have.
This is why I say everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur too. Like I used to spew that, especially with, you know, with Black people saying that Black people need to own their own business. No, it got to be some worker bees too. Everybody, there's a certain type of discipline and mindset that you have to have even to have wealth. And this is what I'm saying. And this is what I talk about when I talk about manifesting with people. A lot of people, the shit ain't manifesting because it's not in alignment with what you're supposed to do here on this earth. Do you understand? A lot of people are not meant to have wealth because, bruh, you can't handle it. Do you understand? You couldn't handle, like, no is a whole sentence. Can you say no to your mother? Can you say no to your fathers? Can you say no to these people? Because to have massive wealth, that's something that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to not be liked at times. Can you can you deal with not being a people pleaser? You know what I'm saying? So these are some, like I said, it takes a certain mindset to have a certain amount of wealth. Do you understand? So everybody ain't meant for that shit.
I want to take a quick dig here. Can you eat at the cheese? Can you go to the Cheesecake Factory for a date?
Oh,
or Olive Garden and eat?
Look,
but well, and the reason I say that because, like you said, with relationships, you've seen the whole list of what not to take a woman on a first date. You can't take her to the Cheesecake Factory. You can't take her to Olive Garden.
I love talking about
The list went on. But I'm just saying, for a man with a job trying to be, especially if he's in his early 30s, let's say somebody 30, 31, even young, it doesn't even matter the age. At this point, the man is trying to build wealth. He cannot build wealth or ever get to rich if he's taking you to $200 and $300 meals every weekend because you refuse to eat. And I'm not saying you, just in general, the masses that put that out there. Well, no, but I'm saying he can't take he want to take you out and do nice things, but if everything he do has to be on this extravagant grand scale, how can he build wealth or even marry you and the two of you ever build wealth if all your money going to Louis Vuitton and Gucci?
And see, that's what that's the I will go to Olive Garden. I'll go to Red Lobster. I'll go to mom and pop's dinner because they food be busting any goddamn way. You know what I'm saying? So I think that more focuses on people what they feel wealth is. You know what I'm saying? They focus on finances too much. You know, when a man is trying to build, why aren't you trying to help that man build? That's why relationships are broken. That's why we keep doing this. You know what I'm saying? And I think that women, like, what is the issue? Why you think you too good? You got something on the inside that need to heal. You understand what I'm saying? To make you think that you too good to go to a restaurant, humble thyself, nigga. Like, for real. You know,
glad you said it, not me.
I have 5 things that, and one of them is I will always practice humility. You know, I went from a point where I had a 6-figure business. You know what I'm saying? And I was making money. I was helping take care of people. I was employing people to nothing. To absolutely nothing, to losing my house, to losing my car, to being homeless. Do you know what I'm saying? God humbled my ass. And that's when I realized, like, damn, you a little arrogant. You a little arrogant. You a little prideful. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what goes up can come down. Understand that. You know? So, and so it's just like, it's a whole point of just being humble. Humble beginnings, not forgetting where you come from, you know? And so when it's not even about a man building wealth, just humble yourself. You know, if you continue to be in a humble mindset, I feel like you will never lose that wealth. And that goes back to, again, a fear. You know what I'm saying? A fear of not having. And this is where I feel like we got to balance certain things. You know, whether you call it Buddha, whether you call it God, whether you call it Allah, whether you call it the universe, whether you call it ancestors, whether you call it Orishas, it's 110 different ways to say the word water. If I throw it on your ass, you're gonna get wet. There has to be some kind of source. Do you understand what I'm saying? We can make pretty lines on a carpet all day with a vacuum, but it don't pick up no fucking dirt until you plug it into a source. Do you understand? And I think that if we as a people we've lost that connection. A lot of people fake it. Okay, you have including Christians. Okay, so a lot of people fake that connection with source, but once you get that connection, bro, like I said, that don't become a fucking issue. That's not an issue. My man can take me, and I am single, by the way. I'm doing a lot. Anybody who want to come take me out, right? So, but my man
single and not picky, fellas. Single and not picky.
So willing to go to Olive Garden.
My man can take me, right? He can take me, and I would probably prefer to do that. You know what I'm saying? I would prefer to probably sit at home or just kick it with my man, or, you know, of course I would like to go to a nice restaurant every now and again, but it's not a requirement. It used to be. It used to be when I was dwelling in my pride, when I was dwelling in my arrogance. I used to say, yeah, no man could, hell no, you better not take me nowhere like that. But you know, humble thyself. Humble thyself. For real.
That was a song a lady made on TikTok when it was talking about, you know, all the women talking about, I don't go half with no man, and I bet he better not bringing up mention that I got to pay half on the bills.
Let's
and
talk about that.
It was a remake of the song, you know, if you think you lonely now. She was like, wait until the first. When you got to pay all that rent when you only had to pay half.
Right.
let's talk about that, because
Yeah.
I'm a traditionalist.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, I probably do expect my man to, but I like to make money too. Like, I like to
Mm-hmm.
do stuff too, but I do want a man who wants to take care of his woman, because I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
They
take
out
care of
there.
him.
They out there.
I'm gonna take care of him, and I also like to spoil my man. It ain't just a one way thing, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, don't come asking me to pay 50 on nothing. That's a red flag for me
No,
when we talk
well,
about
no,
bills.
no. Now, when I think they were talking more like rent. Like, right now times is rough and things cost a
I
lot.
agree.
So
I agree.
basically, now if every time y'all go out to eat, he looking for half, it's like, you got your half on this meal. They
Yeah,
didn't brought the
no.
check. No, no,
That's
that's
right.
wrong. But just basic living where it's like, hey, this is what I make, this is what you make. We can get a nice place together. If you help me pay the utilities and the cable and you get all this, I can afford to pay this. To me, that's
Well, that's how
partnership.
my mom and dad did. I think my dad
Yeah.
paid the rent and my mom paid the utilities. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
But that's kind of like fit. To me, that's almost like fit. That's a partnership where you're putting
Yeah.
in on it. But nowadays, women saying, no, I don't even want to put in on nothing. You pay everything, struggle. You have nothing. There's no savings, nothing for a rainy day. And I just take my money and I just go shopping and go on trips and do what I do. And then I still
Yeah.
expect, and after you do all that, I still expect birthday, Christmas gift, and you to spoil me and have time for me on top of all of that
Do
work
you
that you're doing.
All right, so
TV and
let me
society
ask you
has
this.
done
Let me
that.
ask you this. So if he pay
TV
all
and
the
society
bills
has
and
done
take care
that.
of the house, what's his role at home after that?
Say that again, beloved.
If he paying all the taking care of everything, the bills, etc., then what's his role when he comes home? What else has he to do?
Absolutely nothing. You sit
Oh, well,
down
you
and kick
good
your feet
then.
up.
You good then. That's
Yeah.
all I wanted to hear.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. You
I gotta
you
come home
deal
cook my own
you
meal
deal
after paying all the
yeah,
bills.
no.
We
You
got a
deal with
problem.
yeah, you deal with the outside world all day. When you come home, it's peace. That's
See,
it.
but you know
We
what?
kind of That's a
The other
buzzword.
women
Whoa, whoa,
don't.
whoa,
They don't
whoa.
see it that way. They want you to come home and cook still.
That's a buzzword there. Peace. That's all a man wanted, some peace. And I had to drop a
That's it.
bomb for that one. We
A
need
piece of fine,
peace.
piece of ass.
Fine.
All
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
All of that. I'm talking about
We don't
all of
want
that.
to. We do
All
not
of
want
that.
to argue. None of that.
You don't
Ah,
and
man.
just remember, I don't have to ask for anything when it comes to that. So you don't have to ask for anything when it
Oh
comes to that.
boy.
Do you
Sheesh. Hey,
understand?
this should be when we airing this tomorrow.
All right. So Asha, let me ask you, in all of this healing as we go on, what role do you play in this? So what would someone come to you? What type of client? What is your ideal client that you seek that you can help?
I help the client. My ideal client is the one who is like probably in a dark space, in a dark headspace, not understanding life, not wanting to live type thing. Um, just in a space of not understanding who God is, what God is, if there is a God. Just searching for direction, searching for a way out of darkness would be my ideal client. And a lot of people may have money and still be in a dark place. So that's why it doesn't matter how much money that you have. You can still be in a dark place.
That is absolutely true. Because there are a lot of people that are rich that's living check. Well, they have a lot of money that one would consider rich, but living check to check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
And
a
then you
lot
got
of that.
somebody. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
But then, like I said, there's some people I know that maybe make $30,000 between the two of them, and they living their best life, having
Yeah.
fun.
Me. It's me. I'm the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm rebuilding myself. And yeah, I don't make a lot of money right now because I'm rebuilding my client. Like, I literally had to start all the way over, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had to learn how to find peace that surpasses all understanding. I had to learn how to find peace in the midst of chaos. So I had to understand that my joy and my sanity doesn't lie in material shit, and it doesn't. And then also that all my needs are taken care of. Like, that is some real shit. Now, do I work hard every day, you fucking right. I get up, like I said, I have a routine that I get up and I do every day. And I do something towards my dreams every day. I'm not the normal person though, because I don't work a 9 to 5, and spirit has my life going in a different direction. I'm a teacher, so I have to do many things differently. So for a person who does work a 9 to 5, you know what I'm saying? And that's okay. Like, you get up, you still have a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Even when you at that job, you still have a purpose. You're there for a reason. You know, you still be a light. Like I tell somebody, I want people to not focus, because people will take a job for benefits just because they making $80,000 a year and be unhappy as shit. When God is leading you maybe towards that job at CVS where you're a cashier, but you're really good at being a cashier, and it really fulfills your spirit being a cashier, and not knowing that if you take that job, then God will elevate you to being you never know, you'll be manager, then you'll be a CVS owner, you know what I'm saying, then you'll have several stores, you know. So I teach people to follow their spirit, whatever that may be.
You work with both men and women.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Nice.
Of course, and full
Everybody.
disclaimer,
You know,
because I
I
know you've
want
had
to
you.
work mostly with, I used to have a sister group, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, but what I have found is, and especially since I listened to that song by Dax, that men bottle in so much. They don't get to express their emotions. They have no say, because women yap 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 yap. That's all they do is yap yap yap. And then you know, a lot of you know, our men, their mothers, like, you know, don't you cry, don't you be no punk, don't you be no bitch. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of our men have grown up to where they feel like if they express any kind of vulnerability, that makes them weak. And I just want to that's why I'm always uplifting y'all. Always.
Oh man,
Always.
full disclosure there, because I know I've worked with you, and you had me write a letter to my mother and send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you've
I
helped me
remember
with some of
that.
my shadow. Yeah, you've helped me with some of my shadow work and some of my career changes. I've consulted with you, so I can attest to that personally.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so that's all I want. And when men come to me, it's so funny because, you know, trust is developed. You know what I'm saying? So God, I think God has made me to where, you know, my spirit is that, but I still have to gain their trust. And I want them to I want to be able to show you that you can trust me. You know what I'm saying? So I want us to have several sessions, and that's why I offer a lot of free things too. You know what I'm saying? To try to show you that not all women, because a lot of men feel wanted for their money. I don't want your fucking money at the end of the day. I don't think I charged you anything, did I?
I think I might have gave you a donation, but I don't think and if you did, it wasn't a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
can't remember. It was a
So
few years ago.
yeah, I really want you to heal. I really want you to understand what unconditional love is, you know, for somebody who can, because y'all don't experience from women, from your mothers. There's always been conditions on the love that y'all receive. And so I just want to show y'all that there is some women out there that love you strictly for you being the valued man that you are, valued men that you are.
Man, that's what's up.
Yeah.
You feel warm inside.
Good. I love you for real. I love y'all. Like I'm just saying, like, what would we be? We wouldn't be here that, without that sperm that came from y'all sack. That sperm outbeat 100 other ones, so we could be here. So there would be no us without you. They love to say, "Well, we carried you." Well, yeah, but it'll be just the egg without the man. The fuck? Like I
I
just
think
don't get
so.
it.
Now I know there's this big buzzword that's going all around social media and everything. The shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
It's what it's called. So, do you
Yeah,
delve into any shadow work?
I do. I do. I do. I've been doing shadow work for a long time.
Well,
And
first
I
of all, can
think
you
that
explain it? Let's back up a little bit. First of all, can you explain what shadow work is?
I simply can. Shadow work is so simple. It is simply the things that you hide in the shadows about yourself. Simply the things that are hidden in the darkness, those dark, low vibrational energies that you hide from yourself every day. So that enviness, that jealousy, that not feeling good enough, that abandonment, that rejection, all those issues that we hide, that we try to put band-aids over, that we try to suppress, that we put in the shadows. I think that Christians try to make it demonic, but it's just taking accountability for, your issues, basically. It's facing those issues and taking accountability for them.
So
That's
when
the
that
simplest way.
client, so when that ideal client reach out to you, what can they expect when they call and say, Asha, I'm having some issues. I don't even know where to start. I just need help.
Well, that would be the great thing about me, because I am a prophetess, and my gift is that I see the shadow. I see your shadow. You know what I'm saying? So I see the things that you don't even see in yourself. So the blocks that you have, like, that is my gift. I don't know if you remember that, but I will call those things out. Because I say that's what demons are to me. Your fears, your insecurities, your traumas. And so I see those clearly, and you can't hide those from me. So things that you try to hide in the shadows, I see clearly. And so that's the benefit of hiring me. You just have to be able to trust me, and when I call them out, don't lie to yourself, because you will feel them, you know. So yeah, so just become prepared to really face yourself, because I kind of project your insecurities back to you, and I will trigger you. I will definitely trigger you.
I was just about to say that. Do you ever get anyone that's not ready for the change, not ready to be healed?
Oh, definitely. I just had a whole sisterhood that just turned against me because they wasn't ready to heal. I'm talking about all of them. It was crazy.
That's deep.
Yeah, the betrayal was real. And that's why because they still low key listen to me. So I'm pretty sure that they'll listen to this. But yeah, so that was an experience, y'all. That was an experience. They called me fake. They called me a user. That was crazy.
I'm no stranger to those terms.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But let's talk about, well, not necessarily your situation, but let's
No,
talk
we can. Oh,
about
we can.
situation.
I'm very transparent.
But let's delve into that, because I know there's a lot of people out there that's got good intentions, and like you said, their heart is pure and they're trying to help people, but the people that they try to help turn their back on them, and then the situation gets switched. It's like, good, you fake, you
I
think you this and
understand.
that.
I understand when they said the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I understand that now. I understand what that means. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, because I had to look at myself, and this is what I preach. I constantly do shadow work on myself. I'm constantly looking at myself, because I attracted them bitches at the end of the day. Do you feel me?
Mhm.
So when, like I told y'all, when I looked at myself, I was heavy in my ego, heavy in arrogance. That's why they gaslit me. They breadcrumb me. That's why I allowed them to stay in my life. Oh, Asha, we love you. Asha, you're so great. Asha, you're this. That was all feeding my damn ego. You know what I'm saying? And I did not trust my spirit when God, because God, and I write in my journal. And in 2020, I wrote in my journal that, spirit told me that somebody in my circle is, going to going to betray me. You know what I'm saying? And so I didn't listen, but spirit always hips. I'm always hip. Spirit always gives us that. That's why I'm heavy on following your spirit and listen to your intuition, which we all have. Do you understand? But I had to look at myself. I was very arrogant. I was very much in my ego, to where I didn't listen. And my abandonment issues and my rejection issues allowed me to keep those people around, because I had a fear of being abandoned. Codependency issues. Alhamdulillah. I had a lot of codependency issues that kept them around too. So I can't blame it all on them, because they are going to be who they are. They just played their part. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they played their part so I could see the darkness that was within me, because that's what kept them around. My codependency issues, that's all part of shadow work. That's how even the people that come up against you, they're still divine, because they help push you more into that light. The light comes from the darkness. You know what I'm saying? So I was in a dark place. And this is how I know, y'all, because for 3 years, I kept trying to produce things. You know what I'm saying? Like I kept trying to produce things and nothing would work out. It didn't matter what I put my energy into. I'm talking about nothing worked. Nothing. I couldn't get no money. I couldn't make no money. And it literally was because of the people that I had around me. And I was never ever. And then what happened was like I got a lawsuit and I got some money. And she was my co-founder. I gave her some money. I had gave her like almost $1,000, right? And then the bitch wanted more. And so like she was on the phone. She was like, yeah, well, we ought to just like if it was just me, then I'll just give to you and I wouldn't worry about it. I was like, bitch, somebody got to break the cycle. I'm not finna give you no more money. I'm finna invest this money. You know what I'm saying? And that's when it opened my eyes. I had to choose me. They were so used to me. And see, they thought that they could manipulate me emotionally because of my abandonment issues. That's why I say, y'all don't ever tell nobody y'all can't live without a person. Don't ever tell a motherfucker that. Okay? Because they really, really believe that shit. All right. But I believed it too. You never know how strong you are until God pushes you. God puts you in a situation to prove to yourself how strong you are. You know what I'm saying? So in that moment, I was like, I'm not going to keep struggling. And even if nobody who says that they love me will want me to keep struggling.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it just started to click in my head. Like, and then it's so funny because after that she got a whole gang of people and they was just using all my traumas against me. They got on the live, and because I stayed with a couple of them, you know, and they tried to say I stayed rent free and just called me a user, and it was so amazing to me because I
They
know
went live on you. They went live telling your business.
And I know all these bitches' secrets. They better be glad I am who I am. Okay,
damn, you a mirror.
They got some fucking secrets. You hear me?
You
That
like
I could tell.
Don't do it.
You like I swear
Oh,
you are a mirror. I swear you
did.
are a mirror to me. I dealt with a similar situation. Every word you just said has been a similar situation that I went through.
No, it was
So
crazy.
that's why I'm kind of laughing. If you see me laughing about that, because I'm like, damn, I went through the same damn thing. We might know the same people.
My vision. What broke my heart fixed my vision because I love them bitches for real. And I would have gave them the shirt off my back. You know, I did. You know what I'm saying? But what they took for granted was my genuine energy. They'll never find anybody who loves them authentically like I do. I know it. They'll never find nobody who genuinely loves them unconditionally. And people take that for granted.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
They don't figure it out till it's too late too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's their
Which is
loss.
a shame.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
Their loss. But you know what's funny? When I let them bitches go, and they did that, and I didn't retaliate. You know, I went inside and I healed that shit and I released that shit. I really let it go. You know what I'm saying? And my life began to transform. I began to get clients. My TikTok started to grow and blow up. My Facebook started to grow and blow up. I said, well, damn, things started to happen. You know what I'm saying? I said, damn. Blocks, they was real. And then God told me as I was healing, God was like, you know, I heard conversation. Ooh, it's so much. God was like, I heard conversations you didn't. Right. So these bitches been talking about me. They were already talking about you, Asha. They've been talking about you. Because had they not been, they wouldn't have been able to talk about you so easily on that live. That was easy for them to talk about me. Easy for them to tell my secrets when I could easily tell their secrets. And what's funny is mine were all like my traumas. You know what I'm saying? Like they called me lazy because I was depressed. You know, for 3 years I was depressed for not wanting to live type shit. And so these are all the things that they could say, but the things that I could say about them and don't. Okay.
That's where the true power lies.
Okay.
And I'm glad that you realized why you go ahead. But you know, I'm glad you realized that you looked within yourself as a lot of things was going on, because I know some people never look at themselves. They always look at the outer world. And some people are truly delusional. You know, sometimes you got to look in the mirror, because sometimes it is you.
Well, all the time it is you. And that's why Jesus said, take the plank out of your own eye, sweep around your own front door. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because all the time it is you. Everybody that you meet, and people don't like to hear this, but everybody that you meet is a direct mirror reflection of you. And it's funny because I was messing with this dude around the time, right? And so I was telling him about the situation. And it was so funny because his arrogant ass kept telling me, well, you need to do this. And I just was like, nigga, I was like, I'm already doing that. Like, you don't know me. That's what I was saying. And I was like, you real arrogant. And then Spirit was like, yeah, that's you. And I said, damn, I'm really sitting up here thinking that is me, because I used to think that I knew what was best for people, and I don't know what's best for people. Do you know what I'm saying? That was my ego and my arrogance to think that I knew what was best for people. You know what I'm saying? So, and even with her, because she turned real cold, like that shit was crazy. And so when I'm looking at her and how cold and aloof she was, Spirit said, yeah, that's you. That's your wounded divine feminine, and that's your wounded divine masculine. Do you understand? So both of them were reflections of you. That's you. Wow. That you're looking at. Yeah. And so that helped me forgive them too. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because once I started to forgive myself, then of course I could forgive them, because they were me. I only attracted them because they were me.
So real quick, what is your thoughts on tarot readings and the tarot?
Well, I do them on TikTok, right? And just like any other divination, you sitting on some tarot cards right now, right? So just like any divination, like casting lots in the Bible, I don't tell people their future. I think that people should use them as confirmation and advice. You know what I'm saying? On how to get through things. I think that people can begin to depend on that shit way too much. Just like they depend on everything else way too much. It can become a crutch, just like it can with look, I'm a different type of person, because even when it comes to like rituals and crystals and candles and like even that shit has like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Because you are the fucking magic. It was one thing that God has told me, because I've been to a place where, I couldn't do all my rituals and use all that shit and use all my herbs. And all I had was God. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I needed. Period. Now, everything else was a bonus. You know what I'm saying? Everything else was something that I like to do as a person. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to those tarot cards, like I don't even need them like that. Like I use them for people, because people like show. You know what I'm saying? Because I just read your ass. I don't need no cards. I see you. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally from a name, and it could be a fake name. People don't understand that. Like energy is. I'm a beast at this shit. Been doing it for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need no fucking cards to read your ass. But I don't see anything wrong with them. Like people, they make up their own cards. They use playing cards. They use Uno cards. Like it's still your intuition that you're using. But one thing I do, and I'm glad you asked me this. One thing that I do want people to understand is that be careful who you get these readings from, right? Because these readings, the readings that I do, I know for a fact my energy is always in them, because it is either something that I have went through, something that I'm going through, or something that I might go through. But either way, I'm in that shit too. And I think that a lot of people don't understand. Like, it's kind of like, how you gonna tell me about a healthy love and you dealing with bullshit? How you gonna tell me that I'm attracting my soulmate and you fucked up in love? Your heart chakra is closed. Like, no, you got to be careful who you listening to. People will project their insecurities onto you. So you got to be careful.
That was one of the points that I was making in that question about church. I don't feel you can join a church. Let's just say you joined church 10 years ago, and there's been no change in 10 years. You've been faithfully reading, studying, and so-called in the spirit, but yet you've been struggling for the same 10 years. There's no growth.
No, sir.
And I would have to say, I don't see the fruits of your labor, And like my father, he liked to always say, well, the poor will always be among us, but that doesn't mean you have to be one of them. You should be elevating. And it's the same thing with the conscious community too. You've been conscious for all these years. You should be you should be the difference in the community and making a difference. There should be some fruits to your labor, no matter what your religion, conscious community, Islam, whatever you're into. The spirit should be lifting you and elevating you.
One of those things
I
that those
believe that.
girls said was, because I always be like, peace, you powerful ass manifestors. And one of their gripes was that, that shouldn't if I'm talking about manifestation, shouldn't I be further along? But the thing I didn't realize was I was the company that I kept. When you hang
Yep.
around four broke motherfuckers, you're gonna be the fifth. Do you understand?
Favorite saying.
And
Yep.
and so what I absolutely know is that in 3 months, God has elevated me more than in 3 years. Alhamdulillah. Sorry, y'all. That was the first time that God
I
brought that
know.
to me.
Get that out. Get
That
it
was the
out.
first time God had brought that to me, because that was my realization. But God has elevated me more in 3 months than I had in 3 years, because of the people that I had around me. And it wasn't just that, alhamdulillah, it was because of the belief within myself. Do you understand? Because I kept giving my power away. Do you understand? Not knowing that I could do things on my own. Like I felt like I always needed somebody to make steps, or to go along the journey or path that God called for me. You know what I'm saying? And that kept holding me back. So yes, if things have not happened, if you have not elevated, I would say within 6 months to a year, then you need to check your surroundings and check yourself. Check yourself, then check your surroundings, right? Because something ain't right. There's something within you that ain't right. And you can find out what that is by looking on the outside, by looking on what has manifested on the outside,
Nice.
and then make those changes.
You dropped a mouthful there. This is like Thanksgiving will be tomorrow. It's tomorrow. So this is definitely like something for Thanksgiving. If you're sitting around the Thanksgiving table around so-called friends and family, take a look and read the people in the
Ooh,
spirit.
and
Who you
family
breaking
too.
bread with? Yeah. Who are you breaking bread with?
Family too, because a lot of people love to try to say, well, they my blood. Let me tell you, I don't fuck with none of them. My auntie is the only one that I fuck with. Do you hear me? And it's because like I said, a lot of the times when you have and we talk about black sheeps and people who are black sheeps and people who are meant to, effect change into this world, you're not going to be accepted. And sometimes you're not accepted in your own family. And I think a lot of people internalize that instead of using that as fuel, as to understand, like to step into your power. Do you understand? And so
Yeah.
your family can stop you from a lot of shit, their hating ass ways. All right. So listen, because just because they family, and a lot of some of them be your own parents that be hating on you. You understand? That's not everybody, but just take
I
what
know that
resonates.
feeling.
You know what I'm
What?
saying? So it doesn't
What?
matter if they're family or not, y'all. Like, trust God more than you trust them. Okay.
Well, that's
I
that's
should tell. Yeah, I should tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook under Asha Mayat, on IG align _with _Asha, and then you can find me on TikTok under Prophetess Asha.
Tell
Prophetess
them how to
Asha.
spell. Tell them how to spell Asha Ma'at for some of
A
those that are challenged.
AS. Okay, so it's A as in Apple, S as in Sam, H as in Henry, A as in Apple, and then it's M as in Mary, A as in Apple, A as in Apple, T as in Tom. And usually, if you just put that in, you'll find me, and you'll see me. My picture is me on the Bali Rock, because I went to Bali a couple years ago, and that was dope
Wow.
as shit. Yeah, I climbed the actual mountain, a real one.
that took a lot of energy.
Yeah,
Well,
I had to do that. I had to do that in somebody else's shoes, like a local shoes. I'm gonna tell the beginning of that story real quick, because so I had to so I thought I was climbing a hill, right? Because I went to Bali. I paid for it and I booked and I went by myself, right? And so one of my activities was I thought I was gonna climb a hill. Child. So I look, so I get there and I'm climbing the hill, y'all. I couldn't even get all the way up the hill. I paid somebody to take me the rest of the way because I thought I was finished, right? And so I get to the top of the hill, and the dude was like, okay, so you ready? And I'm like, what the fuck is you talking about ready? Like, ain't we finished? And so I look up and he's like, no, we come to climb the mountain. And I'm like, I can't climb no mountain in no flip-flops. So I literally had to rent a local shoes, Because Spirit was like, when the next time you're going to be in Bali? When the next time you're going to be able to say that you climbed a mountain?
Right.
And so,
wow, that's powerful.
yeah, I'm going to have to come back and talk about that, because
But
I
don't be
learned
no
a lot
stranger.
of lessons. I learned a lot of
What?
lessons climbing that mountain.
You're always welcome at Lifestyle After 5 to have conversations with us. We
Always.
thank you for coming on.
I thank you for
So
having me. I had fun.
Anytime, everybody.
Very educational. Very educational.
But for those that have been following us on our YouTube live, you know we do this thing every Wednesday where we name out the different holidays. So I just want to let everybody know today, November 22nd, is also Aaron Day, Drinks Given. I can see that. Everybody's cooking and they drinking. Go for a Ride Day. Housing Day. I don't understand that. Humane Society Anniversary Day, Lebanon Independence Day, Love Your Freckles Day, National I can't read this. Failure Day, National Cranberry Relish Day. That is not for the black households. You do not show up with no cranberry relish at the table tomorrow. It's not gonna go well.
No. Am I putting that in the dressing? Because I'm confused.
I don't know what you're putting that on. I guess a ham. It may be good on a ham sandwich or in the potato salad.
Maybe a turkey sandwich.
So y'all don't put cranberry in y'all dressing? Y'all don't put cranberry sauce?
No, we cranberry sauce, but not no cranberry relish.
Oh, see, I don't know what that is. See,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, not National Cranberry Relish Day. National Cranberry Day, yeah. National Jukebox Day. National Nathan Day. I don't know what that is either. National Nathan Day. National Taiwan Own Day. I don't know what that is. Use your imagination for that. National Deal Week. National Farm City Week. And New Zealand Flower Week. And what do you love about America Day?
Something every day on the calendar, ain't it?
I know.
I don't know nothing
Those
about
are our holidays. So be sure to celebrate one or two of those. Also, check us out.
Because I love animals.
Also, check us out at aliafter5.com and also www.lifestyleafter5.com. You can check us at Lifestyle After 5 on Facebook. Indy Red, what you got for us? And also, this was Benjamin Banneker month as well. If y'all didn't know.
Benjamin Banneker month. Nothing, man. Y'all just make sure y'all keep tuning in, man. Checking us out. I ain't got nothing special to say, man. I appreciate Asha for coming on, schooling us tonight. It was definitely educational. I can't wait to get it back on again. Like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, man, just keep following us, and we're gonna keep growing only from y'all support.
You have it. Until next Wednesday.
So much. Thank y'all.
We definitely love you. Yeah, go ahead.
And I just want to say thank you for having me. I love y'all energy, and I always say, go forth with the power of source behind you. Continue to dare to be different, dare to dream your destiny, and stay the fuck aligned. I love y'all.
Thank you.
Love you too. There you have it.